This rule will effectively turn many law-abiding gun owners into criminals if they fail to comply, even though Congress did not act. We didn't pass any new criminal laws or penalties related to stabilizing braces. We had unelected bureaucrats create a rule.
It says, a technical defect allows ATF agents to access data, including purchaser data, beyond what ATF policy permits.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So today is a very interesting day. Earlier today, the House Judiciary Committee, who has oversight over the ATF, had a meeting to discuss ATF overreach, the new brace rule, and to discuss how the ATF basically created felons out of millions of law-abiding Americans with the simple stroke of a pen without even involving Congress. Because again, like they say in the meeting, it is Congress's job to create law, not the ATF's. So it was very partisan. It was split between party lines. The Democrats and the left, obviously, they were supporting the ATF, and the right was supporting the Constitution and freedom and the separation between the bureaucracy and elected officials and so forth. Also, the left is using snippets and video clips from some of your favorite creators here on YouTube to try and prove their own point. So it's sort of using our own words against us. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what happened today. Let's get to it. This channel is proud to be sponsored by the USCCA. Absolutely one of the best memberships you could ever have in your wallet. As a member, you get that self-defense liability insurance, which is priceless. And don't forget, in March, if you sign up for all tier levels, any tier level, you get the range bag and you get the cleaning kit. Now, if you want to step it up and go to the platinum or elite levels, you're also going to get that Pelican Vault case, which is really, really nice case. So definitely check out the link below and sign up today. So I got to read this because it's kind of long, but the committee that met this morning, and the title of the meeting is the Subcommittee on Crime and Federal Government Surveillance, ATF's Assault on the Second Amendment, When is Enough Enough? And I have some pretty interesting highlights. So like we said before, this is a committee meeting talking about the ATF's overreach. They're talking about data collection on people, out of business FFL data collection, digitizing data collection. It was on the braces. It was on the rule itself. It was on how the agency had said previously for the past decade or so that these things are perfectly fine, causing, you know, up to 40 million Americans to get one, and then all of a sudden changing their mind, and how this administration has changed all the rules and zero tolerance. I mean, there was a lot that was covered. As a matter of fact, I'll link the YouTube video to this Judiciary Committee meeting down below. If you guys have ever wanted to watch one or if you ever thought about watching one, this is definitely one that I would watch. It's going to get you fired up, but it's worth a watch. So check out some of these highlights real quick.
Because they had gone beyond their authority. You see, that's the concern of my constituents. When they go beyond their authority, and you may find those things virtuous, but no one elected you. They elected us to make the laws, and when we make the laws and they don't follow them, then people's rights get diminished. Another area is this issue of the arm braces. Now, in Mr. Wilcox's testimony, he says that an arm brace makes a weapon more powerful. Mr. Bosco, you know a lot about arm braces, don't you?
I do.
Do arm braces make firearms more powerful?
They do not.
In other words, by unelected bureaucrats who believe they can make law, apply law, enforce and adjudicate law. That is something every American should be concerned about, because that is the definition that James Madison wrote so eloquently in the 62nd Federalist, is the definition of tyranny.
We rely on the ATF to ensure firearms do not end up in the hands of those who should not have them. That's all. That's all they do.
In addition to these overreaching regulations, the ATF has abused its enforcement authority at the direction of President Biden and other gun control advocates who simply don't care about the Second Amendment, and by extension our Constitution, or the proper role of government.
And so when you've got the ATF going beyond their authority, collecting 252 million records that they have to destroy, well, that can just be explained because they're doing their best. But when Americans get inadvertently converted to felons because the ATF has exceeded their authority, there is no such grace for them, is there, Ms. Swear?
That would seem to be the case under the recent policy change to zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance. for our fellow Americans when they're trying to exercise their rights and protect their liberties, but all the tolerance in the world for a corrupt bureaucracy that is violating the law, exceeding their authority.
If you have ever been interested or thought about watching a Judiciary Committee meeting on one of these topics, this is the one that I would watch. It's definitely going to get you fired up, especially when you hear from, the other side and why they support what the agency is doing. It's gonna get you going on the inside. But let me just say this. We're in a rare, good opportunity here. And I say that because the House on its own, without needing any other branch of government or any other portion of government, can have an effect on what the ATF does, because it's the House that has oversight of the ATF. So they can actually affect change without it needing to go through the Senate or to go through the White House for a signature. They can affect change on their own. So I hope instead of just talking and saying things that really sound good on sound bites or play back good here on YouTube or something like that, instead of just using words, they actually take action. Because again, what this bureaucracy has done is they've taken people and they said, all right, you're green lighted. You can go get these things. They're perfectly fine. They let that last for a decade. People spend thousands of dollars, and on something that's perfectly fine and good to go. And then all of a sudden they just slam the door shut and say, well, we changed our mind. And overnight, if you don't do what we say and do one of the options that we give you, you're going to be a felon. That on its own, regardless of the data collection and everything else that they talked about, is totally unconstitutional. The agency, the bureaucracy, does not have the power to create law. They don't have the power to adjudicate. They don't have that power. They simply enforce the laws that Congress passed. And, like some of the speakers said, I don't remember ever passing a law like this. I don't remember Congress ever passing any laws like this. So for the agency to come up with it on their own and simply just create a new law out of thin air by calling it a rule, well, then that's something that can't stand. So again, it was a really interesting meeting, but still good to know that they're working on our behalf to try and stop this stuff and try and overturn it. Because I'll tell you right now, if they fail at this, right, having oversight and having control of the ATF, if they fail at stopping this, then I've lost all faith altogether. I mean, a majority of it's already been lost, to be honest with you. But if it's not stopped now, my faith is completely gone that they would ever do anything to actually support us, other than, like I said before, grandstanding. They seem to be really, really good at that. I'm sick of hearing you talk about it. Let me see you do something about it. I want to see some action taken here for all of those people that are worried about what's going to happen come May. And, hopefully we'll see that happen. But I wanted to let you guys know about this meeting. I still suggest that you go down there and you watch it, because you won't believe all of the stuff that was said, everything that I couldn't, clip here without making this a 30-minute video. But definitely worth checking out. Again, that subcommittee on ATF Overreach. So I want to let you know about that. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.